And in Rio de Janeiro, fans are still coming to grips with the fact that the defending champions are finished in the tournament, just having scored 1 goal across 2 games. Joel Richards is live for us there with the fallout. Joel.
Evening, Elaine, from Rio, where the weather very much matches the mood both in Spain and in England. We heard Paolo mentioning that the English are a powerhouse. I think some may disagree with him there, but one thing that was for certain is that Spain were one of the candidates for this world title. They're world champions, and it's a side that's dominated world football, Elaine, not only in Europe, but on a global scale, and not in terms of just sheer success, but also very much in the style and the way that they've played football, really arguably cementing their place. This generation of Spanish footballers have cemented their place in the Hall of Fame in football's history as one of the greatest sides of all time. So it's a major shock. There was the 5-1 defeat at the hands of Holland, and then obviously the defeat against Chile, which really raises the question whether the fiesta is all over for Spain.
It is the end of an era. Current world champions and 2-time European champions Spain crashed out of the FIFA World Cup dramatically on Wednesday. It's one of the greatest upsets in the history of the competition. Viewed as strong contenders to retain their title, it was defeat to Chile at the Maracanã in Rio de Janeiro that ended that hope. The Spanish were dealt a heavy blow by the Netherlands in their first match, losing 5-1 and setting off the alarm bells. And then against Chile, the Roja showed little sign of having found their form when striker Eduardo Vargas neatly finished off a sweeping move from the South Americans for the first goal. Charles Aranguiz scored the second and what proved to be the hammer blow just before half-time. Spain were unable to find a response after the break and were eliminated. After the 2-0 defeat, coach Vicente del Bosque, who led the team to World Cup success in South Africa in 2010, said they would take time to evaluate what went wrong and what must change. Back in Spain, where celebrating victories has become the norm in recent years, there was frustration and criticism of an ageing team.
Spain's performance has been pathetic in this World Cup. All the other sides brought in new players, and look what's happened to us.
You have to pick players who've had a good season, not famous players who've done well in the past. If you haven't worked hard, you shouldn't be picked. You have to pick the best, famous or not.
Spain's dominance of European and world football over the past 6 years was nothing short of spectacular, but so too was its fall.
Well, so there was great disappointment in Spain today, and it was front-page news really around the world. But obviously in Chile, we had very different reaction. They viewed it almost as if they'd won the World Cup. Some took it a little too far, breaking into the Maracanã stadium for that match, and have since been given deportation. Have been told they must leave the country in the next 72 hours. And FIFA are also investigating some other federations for the behaviour of their supporters. Most recently, Mexico have been there have been alleged homophobic chants by Mexican supporters. That was in the game against Brazil, and after a complaint from a European anti-discriminatory body, they're now investigating that. But there are other investigations pending against Croatia, Russia and Brazil as well, and the possibility of this could be a deduction of points, perhaps not sanctions at this World Cup, but when it comes to the next qualification phase, as happened with Russia, for example, in 2012, when they had 6 points deducted. FIFA will look into these allegations of homophobic insults being chanted by supporters and may look to take further action. Elaine.
All right, CCTV's Joel Richards reporting live from Rio de Janeiro.